Hi, Brendan. So just on growth sprints there, your own website, and it's just under the revenue focused content we were talking about earlier with the 3S strategy. Is that like customer research as such? So like in-depth one instead of kind of using keyword tools to write the content?
Yeah, it just flips the model. So instead of starting with keyword research, I'm starting with these conversations and I'm pulling out hundreds of ideas of phrases, like different ways I might phrase how people might search for these things. Because the SEO tools, right, like they're using that clickstream data and stuff like that, and it's 6 to 12 months old. So it's fine, but like sometimes you can hop on earlier stuff. And when you create that article, people are searching for it today. And one of two things will happen, right? Like either a lot of people are searching for it, the SEO tools haven't picked it up yet, so we can get a ton of that. I'll give you an example in a second. Or the second thing that'll happen is like it's really small, like only 10 or 15 people a month are searching for it, and the SEO tools maybe show that, or maybe don't, but nobody else is really writing about it, but it's really close to the money. It's like a true pain point. Those two things happen a lot. When I was working with Betterment on their like B2B side, they have Betterment for Business and like specifically 401k stuff. The CARES Act came out in 2020, which was like a new law that was passed. And everybody was Googling, how is the CARES Act gonna affect my 401k? And we saw that and we pressed them hard. We're like, you have to trust us. Publish an article about this in the next 48 hours. And I think we got so much traffic from search that we hit our like quarterly goal in like a week and a half.
Nice.
And none of the SEO, all the SEO tools were like, nobody's searching for this, right? So you can do like that, those things that come out of like that 3S strategy. Like we were talking to some of their salespeople and like, they were like, yeah, a lot of people are asking about the CARES Act. And we're like, make it, like make that content. So like those sorts of things are what gets surfaced there quite often.
Okay. So like we'll say you just said there, you mentioned like you'd ask the sales team. So that's obviously one way to find information to write the content. In regards to like success support, so what does that mean? How does that play into the strategy?
So usually with my clients, sales is who they are, right? Self-explanatory. Success is like, we're going to help you get onboarded. We're going to help you probably buy more of our product, right? Like they're like the sales people, since software is usually a subscription model. Like we're going to help you renew your contract, help you expand that contract, make sure we're still meeting your needs, basically make sure you don't churn. Support is very tactical. It's like, this is a bug, I'm running into this issue, fix this thing. It's much more dev focused, whereas success is kind of like half developer, half salesperson. The questions I ask them are different, right? For support, I want to know what are the biggest issues people are having. And then I hop over into Search Console and I think to myself, hey, are we getting traffic for this? Like brand plus, they're Googling for this issue. And if our help docs don't cover it, I'm going to recommend them that they create a help doc for that because they're losing branded search, which you should never lose, that sort of thing. With success, I'm helping them make more money because I'm helping them retain their client, their customers better, and helping them renew big contracts and things like that. Oh, we're hearing these issues. We're hearing this come up unprompted, stuff like that. Okay, cool. Let's think through what content we need to create for that. And that guides the content strategy. It's not always just new logo acquisition for them. It's like, oh, if we also have this suite or this library of content that helps retain our customers, that's really valuable.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Taylor, I know you had your hand up a second ago. Do you have a last question?
I did, but I was more so around like any sort of strategy, tips, tricks, things you learned when you were building your newsletter for growth sprints. But I think that might be a question that is going to take a little bit longer than 2 minutes, unless you think you got a 2 minute.
Yeah, do you have to jump in 2 minutes?
No.
I'm happy to answer it. So the way that I built my newsletter, a big reason I saw a huge uptick in subscribers was I used ConvertKit and I used something called SparkLoop, which when you subscribe to my newsletter, it basically it's similar if you've ever seen this on Substack, where it's like you sign up for somebody's newsletter and then it's like, oh, do you also want to sign up for these other 4 that are pretty similar? And you can be like, yes, no, or like, yeah, sign me up for all of them. Well, I do that for mine, and then other people do that for theirs, but I'm on that one. Or SparkLoop also allows you to say like, I'll pay $1 or $4 per subscriber. So these other email lists with a similar audience literally send out emails to their list, and they're like, if you click this button, you should sign up for growth sprints. Here's why. Click this button. One click, it signs you up. And every time somebody clicks that button, I send them a couple bucks. So like, I think I paid one person probably $7 to 10 grand in like essentially affiliate fees for sending me people. That's been a big growth lever. The quality of those subscribers, I'm not 100% sure of. I'm not thrilled with it's cool to say you have a 15,000 person email list, but like, I'm not sure that's it. Where I'm headed, I think, is maybe a better answer for you. So far I have this two pieces of my email list. I have like an evergreen side that's essentially like an autoresponder. They get basically a greatest hits email every Wednesday for 6 months. And then every Sunday I send out the more ephemeral, like, hey, this is just kind of like this week, what's happening this week, current events type of thing, which is fine. The way I'm moving in the future, I really love, there's a guy named Lenny Rachitsky who has a newsletter that's just called Lenny's Newsletter. He is a product person, so a product manager that like builds a product within a software company. It's so good and it's so straightforward, and it's just literally, his subject lines are always like how Miro builds product, how Spotify builds product. And the fact that he's interviewed the head of product at Spotify and Miro and all these like big software companies, you want to read, and he gets like super tactical. That's where I think I'm going in the future, of like how Spotify acquires customers, how Miro acquires customers, and everything is just like interviews, and they're not really, I might make them a podcast, but also might not. That's where I think I'm going in the future, with like just really getting tactical. What does your team look like? Where are your dashboards? How do you keep track of that? What are your KPIs? What are your OKRs? And I have this list of questions that I've built up over time. I'm actually doing my first interview for that on Thursday. I think that'll make the newsletter be a lot stronger. So far, it's been like kind of a community newsletter, which I think is fine, but there's no real reason to tune in. It's just kind of like, if you like my hot takes, you'll like the newsletter. I don't think that's like a great value prop. So I'm going to go more in the direction of original research. That's also like what's more exciting for me personally. Is that helpful?
Yeah, I think so. I think figuring out the value and then dedicating the time to creating is something to think through.
Well, I think also like that, I call it like an immortal newsletter, getting those two pieces, like the piece that's ephemeral and like current eventy and stuff, but then also not being like, oh, I sent an email 2 years ago that was really good. I don't want to send it again because people have already read that one. Having like a side that's like an immortal newsletter and then like the ephemeral newsletter, and they both feel the same. It just comes through, like mine sends every Wednesday and every Sunday. I like that as a newsletter strategy. So that everybody gets the greatest hits emails, everybody. And I've gotten so many great replies, and I always think to myself, I'm so glad I didn't just send this once. Like, I'm so glad everybody that signs up gets this, you know? Cool. So awesome. Those are actually fantastic questions. I really appreciate you all. We'll be putting the replay up. If you need anything or have any other questions, just let me know in Slack. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Brendan here. Let's get to the point. I'm running a live bootcamp for agency owners and consultants, really anybody who wants to make more money by creating an automatic pipeline of clients from LinkedIn. No cold DMs, no ads, no spammy in-mail. If you want to get more clients just from posting every single day on LinkedIn, this is for you. Last year, I drove over $1 million in leads just by posting on LinkedIn every single day. Along with Ryan Stewart from Weberus and Blueprint Training, we'll be sharing our exact system for you to copy and paste in your own business. Live training, live feedback on your content, limited seats. It'll be a lot of fun because not only will I be walking you through this live setup step by step, giving you detailed guidance on how to create effective, engaging content for LinkedIn, how to identify the right audience on LinkedIn, building engaged audiences that view you as the thought leader in your space, and how to use warm selling methods to generate leads from content on LinkedIn. We'll also be giving you 20 proven LinkedIn post templates, a range of content formats to generate buzz, and a plug and play organizer just for LinkedIn. I'll also be giving you live coaching and feedback on your personal LinkedIn lead gen strategy. We have limited spots, and right now we're taking applications. Click the link and apply, and hopefully we'll get to work together.